If you have a small account under PDT and trading part-time while working a full-time job, then this strategy is perfect for you. I day traded part-time for many years while I was working my full-time job. In part 1 of this video, I talked about how I managed my time meticulously daily when I was working my 9 to 7 job 5 days a week and sometimes even 6 days a week. But I still managed to study the market 2 to 3 hours every single evening, even pre-market, traded at the open, and 1 hour before the close. And one of my favorite strategies I used to grow my small account when I was working full-time was to buy a stock overnight and swing it next day for a potential pre-market gap up or a morning spike. And for those traders under the PDT rule in the US, this is great news for you because an overnight swing does not count as a day trade. So in this video, we'll be talking about the 3 specific criteria I look for when I'm buying a stock overnight for a swing. We'll be talking about the technical setups, potential risk, reward, and I'll be going through step by step how to find these potential swings overnight for free on Finviz. But of course, the most important criteria of this overnight swing strategy is if you tap the like button at the bottom of this video. Seriously though, this strategy isn't going to work unless you've done that. So let's get into this. The first criteria I look out for when I'm buying a stock overnight is the daily chart. So let's look at the example here, SDC. From a purely technical analysis standpoint, I want to see the current daily candle closing above the previous candles. I don't normally look at the wicks on the daily chart when I'm looking for a swing. I look at the opening and closing of the candles. So what does that mean exactly? You guys know that I don't really care much about patterns in day trading. But when I'm looking to swing a stock overnight, I care about the patterns on the daily chart more closely. So when a daily candle is closing above previous resistance near the end of the day, it means that there's enough buyers in the stock to push the stock above the previous supply levels from the sellers on the daily chart. So looking at the stock SDC, we can see that on this day, the stock was closing around 1372. And if we look at the daily chart, the closest resistance level was of course the previous day, around 1217. Which also corresponds to the resistance levels in the beginning and mid-November here around 1220s. So it looks like we're clearing the closest resistance at 1220s. And if we go the next level up, the next resistance is at 1350s. And if we go even further, we can see another level at 1530s. So that means we're closing above the 2 closest resistance levels to our daily level right now. And the stock now has a potential upside of going towards 1530s. So this example would be an extremely bullish daily chart, and it's important when you're looking to buy a stock overnight for a swing. While we're on the daily chart for SDC, the second important criteria I look out for is volume. You can visually see the increase of volume down there, and even all the volume bars are closing stronger than all the red candles on the volume, which indicates selling. But very important to remember though, while you do not always need a steady increase of volume like SDC here, you definitely want to avoid daily charts that look like this. This means that there's absolutely no one trading it, and usually the daily volume is less than 100,000 shares. This is what we call the barcode chart. And you can easily see the average daily volume when you go to finviz.com. Ideally, you want to see the stock trading more than 500,000 shares average daily to swing it overnight. Because there has been times when I'm stuck with liquidity issues, especially on some of these thinly traded penny stocks and sometimes even mid caps. And I couldn't sell my position. So very important to always check the daily average volume. You don't want to be stuck with like 40-cent spread and you end up holding the bag. So before we go on to criteria number 3, let me show you step by step on how I look for these stocks to swing overnight for free on Finviz and give you my analysis based on my 2 previous criterias. Okay, so right now we're at finviz.com, and when you're in here, you click screener. This is the Finviz free screener over here, and I like to input the following filters. I trade NASDAQ and market cap. Usually I'll scan for things under 2 billion. Relative volume, I want to see over 1 to see a volume increase, and average daily volume, I want to see over 500K. The criteria as we talked about earlier. Current volume, of course, over 500K, and price, you can put this at your discretion for overnight play or playing at the open. But for the example, let's do under $20. And when you're done, you can click charts, and Finviz will show you a little snapshot of the daily charts of the stocks that meet your criteria up here. And also another thing is, by default, the screener will show you the technical charts, but if you click candle, you can see a lot closer to the closer time frame on the daily. So if I'm looking for stocks to swing overnight, I want to see how so I don't like this chart. I don't play anything below $1. I just don't like that. AEMD, this looks pretty nice. Like from the screenshot, you can see that this increase of volume and the daily curl, which what we talked about, we want this current daily candle to close above the previous resistance, right? According to criteria number 1. But this is a potential, so you can keep that on watch. I don't like this, I don't like that. This is possible if AKRX, if we close above the green candle right here, because that's a resistance level. But you can keep that on watch. None of this is for me. This one maybe if we can close above $1.40. But the daily volume is not enough, so that's not good. This Cara, this looks nice actually. Like the daily volume, there's slight increase, and we're closing above the previous resistance. There's room on the daily chart to around $20, so you can keep that on watch as well for a possible swing overnight and or playing at the open during intraday. But again, this just gives you a snapshot of what the daily looks like. On Finviz, there is a delay, so that's why it's important to pick the stocks you want to look at from here and then go to your broker and look at how it's traded intraday again. But this is just a really quick way to scan for stocks to trade. Like FCEL, this looks really nice for an overnight candidate. This chart, we're closing near the previous resistance and there's an increase of volume. So that looks nice. So that's why I will look for INSG. This one looks nice as well. You can see we're closing above $9. Again, you want to go to your own broker and zoom out and see what a daily chart on a bigger time frame looks like. INO as well, we're closing above the previous resistance over here. And we have upside to the tip of this candle and possibly $4. So this is how you quickly look for potential overnight trades really quickly here. And again, you want to make sure it meets our criteria number 1 and criteria number 2. So NLNK, that looks kind of nice as long as we close above these resistance area right here. So this is how you can quickly scan for stocks to possibly buy overnight for a swing. And again, you can go in and adjust all these filters up here in your Finviz scanner. So Finviz is a great tool for all the beginner traders and experienced alike. I used it a lot when I was trading part-time and working a full-time job. I used it to look for overnight swing positions and potential plays at the open the next morning. But something it doesn't have is a pre-market scanners. Because it's a free tool after all, I mean the chart's data is delayed. The Thinkorswim platform does have a pre-market scanner. It's not the best, but it gets the job done. It's also free after all. Okay, so now that we've talked about the first 2 criteria, which are all based on technical analysis on the daily chart, let's talk about criteria number 3 for this overnight swing strategy, which is a fundamental catalyst. I consider myself both a fundamental and technical trader, meaning I don't trade just based on technical patterns or just based on fundamental catalyst. I'm a mix. I want both a fundamental catalyst and a technical setup to align together. That strengthens my thesis on my day trades and swing trades, both the overnight swing positions and the ones that takes a few days or a few weeks. Okay, so what kind of fundamental catalyst are we talking about as a criteria here? It could be something along the lines of positive earnings, new contract deals, or new partnerships. To sum it up, basically it's any positive news that could potentially increase the company's earnings short term. Remember, the stock price increase or decrease is based on the company's future earning potential. So if a company has a brand new contract to sell at Walmart, that's extremely bullish because Walmart is a giant retailer in North America that everyone goes to. Okay, actually just in the US. I don't really like the Walmart in Canada. It's pretty sketch. I prefer the Great Canadian Superstore. And of course, Whole Foods, which is owned by AMZN. But anyways, a partnership with Walmart or any other big retail giant would mean that this company's earning potential could drastically increase short term. So this will be a positive fundamental catalyst. Another example of what I like as criteria number 3 for this overnight swing is sector sympathy or sector hype. I have talked about sector sympathy or sector hype in a few of my past videos on the channel. But basically, if a stock is part of the hot sector right now and the daily chart is technically bullish according to criteria 1 and 2, then that will be a prime candidate for an overnight swing. Some good examples of the sector hype in the past few years are the shippers bubble in 2016, blockchain sector hype in 2017, and also cannabis stocks in 2018 and 19. So looking at SDC, the stock from our example earlier, we already know it meets criteria 1 and 2, but doesn't meet our criteria number 3. So this is where a quick fundamental research comes into play. Looking at my Benzinga news research tool, we can see that SDC, Smile Direct Club, has recently launched a new line of oral care products at Walmart. So that's big news. So this stock would be a good candidate for an overnight swing position on January 15th. I usually like to enter my swing position in the last 1 hour of trading, between 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, which is perfect for those trading part-time, because that gives me the time to look at how the stock is trading intraday and whether it's holding strong on the daily. If it's closing strong and it meets all 3 criteria that we just talked about, then I will long the stock near the end of the day and sell it into a potential pre-market gap up or a morning spike. It's funny because I actually messed up my very own SDC swing trade. I entered a little bit too early on January 6th and I got stopped out. So I actually took a loss on that swing trade, only to see the trading plan work out perfectly a few days later. I am not a perfect trader, guys, and I probably never will be. This is just the reality of day trading. I'm human after all. But the hot stock I'm gonna be talking about next is a perfect example of a swing overnight that worked out perfectly. And the stock is Pinterest. So on January 14th, when I took the swing position on Pinterest, we can see that the stock is closing around 2150s on the daily. Pinterest is an IPO stock from 2019, so it doesn't have a whole lot of chart history. But we can see the closest resistance level on the daily is at the close of this candle right here, around 2128. Which is also the daily gap. Next, let's look at the volume. Is there an increase of volume on the daily chart? And you can see that on this day, Pinterest traded 35 million in trading volume. So that's a lot higher than the daily average of 11 million shares. Now, fundamentally, Pinterest stock has an amazing news from a market data report, showing that the platform has now surpassed Snapchat as the 3rd biggest social media platform in the US, with 9% increase of year-over-year user growth. You might be thinking now, oh, this platform has a little bit more users now, big deal. I just got $2 more in my Lambo fund too. Which, let's be real here, it's a much bigger deal. But the key is, Pinterest is a social media platform. So just like Facebook and YouTube, the key to these companies' revenue growth is the active user growth. Just like this channel, the key to seeing more videos with bad jokes that will actually help with your trading is if you remember to gently click the like button at the bottom of the video. Doing so will help push the videos out to even more traders like you and I, and if you found them helpful, I'm sure many others will as well. It's a win-win-win situation for all of us. So this Pinterest stock meets my criteria of a bullish daily chart, increase of daily average trading volume, and also a fundamental catalyst. And so that's why I bought the stock at 2160 on January 14th, sold half into the morning the next day at 2240s, and the rest of it at 2380s on January 17th. Now, is this swing overnight strategy going to work 100%? Absolutely not. Nothing is 100% guaranteed in day trading. But if you follow the 3 criteria I mentioned, the chances of the overnight swing setup working out is dramatically higher. And again, it's a perfect setup for those trading part-time with a small account on the PDT. Now, if you found this swing overnight long strategy helpful, there's even more coming soon. Make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell, because next week I'll be going over another one of my favorite long strategies that's really suitable for those trading part-time with a small account on the PDT. We're just getting started here, my friends. Thank you guys for watching as always. I'm the Humble Trader, and I'll see you guys next week.